It's Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. Um, Somebody just handed me new sunglasses, so here we are. Um, Important things of the day is yesterday I was running my normal stretch, and um, I got up to um, I think 20,000 steps in the day, which is for me at this level at the moment is strenuous, and trying to regain back some of the loss in stamina, for lack of a better term. And then I went 30,000 miles, because Nucci wanted to go to the park yesterday. So I really pushed myself. And I know that when trying to get back into like a health regime or like a health routine, there's been in my past, anyhow, my personal data was that there was some really strenuous part of training of myself to get back into that health paradigm shift. Not that I want it to be so, it's just what the logic dictates in what I've already experienced in this kind of atmosphere and weather and aerospace for aerodynamics. Um, so today, between yesterday and today, I was limping a little bit more this morning. It seems to have subsided. Um, I went for a little more than a mile walk each way, and then I waited. So I went for like a 2 point something mile walk this morning. But um, it was it was a limp, as I was trying to hold steady and be mindful of my body position as my legs were walking. But it was painful going from the popliteal area in the back of the kneecap and stretching around to the interior, and around towards the front, and then just like an explosion of pain somewhere. I don't know if it's a soft tissue. I don't know if it's like if it is the medical term eludes me at the moment. I don't know if it is the fluid inside of the knee, inside the capsule of the knee, but my thoughts were, because it wrapped around and it almost, I'm like, I don't know, because two gentlemen stopped me as I was walking. I've seen the one I spoke to yesterday. One has a name that starts with an M, the other one with an R. Um, and they actually were very helpful today because they gave me their strides in steps that they complete in the day. Um, One was between 7 to 8, and the other's 7 and 8,000. The other one was 10,000. So I have a gauge of, is 10,000 enough, or is that considered lazy? So I'm trying to get a read or a feel for what the other humans are into and up to, and what I should be expecting for this, whatever I'm going through. Um, so he was asking me how I was feeling between yesterday and today, and I was honest. And I was talking about the pain, and I actually went into the fact of, I've heard before this phenomenon called, for scuba divers, that's called the bends. I asked if they had heard of it. They said they had. I said it's a they say that it's a buildup of nitrogen in the blood. So the blood oxygen nitrogen levels are a little off, and it causes, they claim it causes um, air bubbles to form and then for the gases to travel, but it's extremely painful. I, I again didn't go scuba diving, but that's what it feels like. So, um, along the lines of that, like it's a pain associated with some movement. If I don't know if it's a chemistry shift because of the cardiovascular work I was doing. I don't know again if it's something breathable, but something in my blood chemistry may have shifted. I did tell them, I went as far as to tell them about this mysterious blood transfusion I needed out of nowhere. Um, and so we talked real briefly. They suggested if I had checked out about AFib, whatever, normal conversation. So, with two random strangers in the neighborhood. I mean, nice, wonderful people that actually stop and had a moment. They weren't in a rush to get somewhere, which does not happen a lot. Around here, it seems to be, um, as of lately, they have more time. Again, I don't know if it's the whatever, whatever, whatever. But um, so I said again, I said I have these classes that I took. I said, so I'm just trying to be my own medical detective and advocate, kind of, sort of, not really, in a trying to detect like what could it be, to then bring it up to the practicing doctor. Um, I was like, but so anyhow, so that happened. Um, so for me, of course, now in my quiet, and when I think about the pain and I try to go through the checklist of what it might be, if it is, I mean, again, I had that thing a while back about um, in like a UA, it being high ammonia in like an industrial strength cleaner smell. So I know there has been times with the amount of nitrogen being a concern of my own personal health paradigm. Um, but there's not really a doctor to go through this with. And then I increased my water. But the thing is in the tap water that I have, and I found out there's more than one district around here. Um, in the tap water I have here, there's this, like, it leaves this film of like some kind of like oil. Now I don't know if it's a detergent, to cleanse the water, if that's part of their process, if it's something being added locally, if it's just this district, I'm not quite clear. But there's this oil that I can see also if I squeeze citric acid into a cup of boiled water, bubbles float to the top, which I then scoop off before I drink. But yesterday, I actually put the spoon, after I scooped off this process that happens with this foam, which I don't know these chemical reactions. I don't know the possibility of the chemistry of some of these things, but just floating a hypothesis of what could be harming, because I know that there are real true professionals and crime detectives out there. I just don't know who they are and what their specialty is or how to get in touch with them, um, to alert properly, or where to even whatever. So I put the spoon inside the cup, um, and it was like the pulp actually stuck. Now, I don't think we have real silver. It's some, whatever the normal, like, household utensils are being sold in this area. Whatever chemistry is on that type of spoon. Oh, actually, no, you know what? It was real silver. It was real silver on the spoon, actually, come to think of it. And I put it inside the cup, and there was this, like, the pulp of the lemon gravitated and stuck to the real silver. And then when I pulled it out, it had this like oil film to it, and the pulp stuck to. And again, I don't know if that's ionization in chemistry terms. Again, I don't have the real specific language on what the professionals use, but I know that it caused some form of my internal house, like just the residence, for chemistry changes with the water behaving in a altered osmotic fashion, let's say. I mean, again, I put in, which I guess is the diffusion of a citric acid, and then all of a sudden, when I pulled the silver spoon out, the oil was stuck to it. I'm also having um, some epidermal skin changes, like a real crepe sense to it, which worries me with breakdowns of lipids, um, and the ability to produce, like, the difference between getting thin skin or having normal, plump, healthy cells in, like, the lipid, and the polarization of the lipids is important, and the ability to factory the um, the cellular level, but the molecular level of the chemistry of the water and how it interacts with the physiology of the body is extremely important. So again, and then this altered chemistry of the water that I'm keeping an eye on. I mean, again, I have a Brita filter, but it's not taking out oil. I don't know. And then it's causing altered epidermal skin changes. I also notice incredibly dry, flaky skin, um, and that also, it seems to be like the stripping of the oils, which again in medical micro I get, but there has to be, I mean, other people are able to keep water systems where they're not experiencing this, and then to have this altered, to have this pain just out of nowhere, and sudden heart decreases, which I'm keeping an eye on. I'm noticing the pattern of it for my own document of what I'm experiencing while here. Um, and not sure what it's related to, necessarily, but noticing some real specific household, um, the layers of whatever's going on. And again, I don't know socioeconomic, I don't know socio-political things that might be going on in the neighborhood with people moving in. I mean, 75% of the population, according to the local senator that stopped by an Alley Pond event, um, that she was hosting, by Oakland, or Oakland Lake. I mean, she said she doesn't know 75% of the district, which really frightens me. So I don't know if there's, with this new influx of residents, if somebody's taken over the water district responsibility or management, and if they've changed the solutions or the chemistry or the detergents. Again, I don't even know where to begin to ask these questions. Um, I did, there, as far as council member goes, I did write a thank you to council member Palladino, for, I mean, it literally says 6-week program, a lesson lecture, featured topic, um, for the day, as well as a visit from live animals in the classroom. So I thanked her for thinking of our student body and for the grant, um, and for the opportunity of him to have 6 Fridays to go visit the classroom animals live. I know these things are really important at the 31Q. So, as a notation, and they have it here, the grant program itself was called CASA Program with APEC. Now, APEX, APEX is one thing. They spelled it here APEC, just for clarity, I suppose. So I'm going to go mail this off. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe. Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.